Yo, yo. Hey, guys. Snipe all day. Yo, yo, yo. Too many old fashions. Yeah, they'll do it, man. The old fashions add up. My theory is it's the bitters. It's the bitters that really get you. I don't know. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't think there's any scientific evidence to support what I'm saying, but I don't know. Something about drinking a belly full of bitters, I feel like always gets you. Marlowe with the follow. Buff Robo Tanks, Nerf Deso. Jalid, yo, yo, yo. Drunk Master, yo, yo. Yeah, we got a fight club here today, guys. 5 top level players going at it. Gonna have some good games. Regular Red Alert 2. Minka, yo, yo. What do you mean which one's Kim and which one's Tim and which one's Kintaja? Come on. Isn't it obvious?
Battle control
Isn't my artwork obvious? Kintaja is the devil plowman, and Tim is Tim the Terror. He's the monster. Come on. Kintaja, I didn't know. I've never had Kintaja on stream before. Didn't know what the name meant, so I Googled it. And it is Finnish for plowman. So that's where we're at. Transylvania? I've never been in Transylvania before. Is Transylvania cool? Should I add it to my list? What do I do when I get there? Give me a breakdown. Give me an itinerary. Unit counter. Unit counter not working. That's okay. Sometimes the unit counter doesn't work. Sometimes it does work. That's life, boys. Blame Snark. That is absolutely right. Alright, now it's working. Alright, unit counter's working. Wait, why didn't Yuri answer you? Is the Yuri bot not working? Now we're all... That one's not even Snark's fault. Actually, thanks for testing that, NG. Alright, so the unit counter's working. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Unit counter, unit counter, unit counter. Why aren't you working? All right, someone ask Yuri a question. Nice. Got it. Now, let's get this unit counter. Let's get ourselves some more space over here, huh? Pro info. 1v1, I think people can figure that out on their own. So let's remove the 1v1. Let's move this up a bit. We need to have space for the logo that pops up over there. Logo, logo, logo. The Yuri bot is so lame. It's... Alright, Snark, what are we gonna do about this map? Alright, we'll just do the client version of the map. Just found out there's 2 versions of the map, so let's tell all the players and hope for the best. Alright, so, okay, yeah, we're going to get this thing rolling. Oh, yeah, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, we're going to get some more room on the right side here. Alright, so we're going to move this logo. The logo can't come up too much because when we put the mini-map out, see, it's like, there's really a lot of methods to the madness here. So bring this up just a bit. It can come up just a bit, huh? Like right there. Now, the Pro $50 1v1. That info is good. People ask. They say, what division? They say, what's the series? They say, what's the prize? So we got to keep that. But now we can move up all this other stuff. And we're going to get more room for the units. It's a pretty good idea. Any of you guys in the chat, you can ask Yuri a question if you're in the Twitch chat. You can say, hey, Yuri, and you can ask a question. Klaus, you want to ask Yuri a question? Feel free. Say, hey, Yuri, and just ask a question. YouTubers, thanks for hanging out, guys. It's good to have you here. For a long time, I didn't stream on YouTube. I just streamed on Twitch. Now I stream on both. I'm a man for the people. Should be a good one today, guys. We got 5 pro players. We're playing regular Red Alert 2 Fight Club style. Best of 1. Last man standing taking home $50. We got Root the Reaper, Tim the Terror, Kintaja, the Demon Plowman. Demon Plowman. Kintasha is Finnish for Plowman. I don't know. I was working on the fly. Jean, the Spider King. And Osama the Dragon. The sometimes lagging dragon. Couple minutes, guys. We're going to kick this off. Well, Klaus, there's your answer. I think that made sense. Doesn't feel like a 24-year-old game. Every time I look at this game, I'm like, wow, did this game come out yesterday? It's aged so well. All right, getting going here in just a couple minutes. Snark's going to join us today. We're using the Lake Island map. You guys know the Lake Island map? I hope you guys are in the mood to have a new favorite map, because the Lake Island map is a true work of art. Oh, I hurt my neck. I have a bad kink in my neck. I've been pumping a bunch of iron, going to the gym and lifting heavy weights, and little did I know that neck posture matters. Hurt my neck on the left side, thought it was a fluke, then I hurt my neck on the right side, and I was like, oh shit, I think I'm doing something wrong. And then I Googled it, and in fact, I was doing many things wrong. Lifting weights is tough. You think you just go in the gym and throw some weights around? When I was younger in high school, you just go in the gym, throw some weights around. Lifting weights, once you're over 30, to lift weights and not hurt yourself, it's incredibly tedious hands-on procedure that I have yet to master. I do like it though. I like listening to like really loud music. Lifting heavy weights makes me feel like a real warrior, you know. It's an old map. Angie, you're an old map. How about that? Drunken Master is our alternate for the day. I'm still not convinced Kintosh is going to show up, but fingers crossed. All right, we're starting in 1 minute. We're starting Tim the Terror, Root the Reaper. Let's get in here. Let's get this thing going. Dude, what am I doing right now? What am I doing? Messing around with the unit counter? Let's get the show going, boys. You guys aren't here to watch me play with the unit counter, are you? Root the Reaper. Let's make sure that this the 1 minute countdown, pretty hype, huh? And the unit counter crashed again. That's okay. You know what? I don't mind when the unit counter crashes. I kind of like it. You guys can join my lobby. I think I have it open, hopefully. Unit counter crashes, keeps me on my toes. Keeps me on my flipping toes, boys.
Ivor.
Snark. So your version of the map that's in QM, you think someone changed your map and you don't even know who did it? That's kind of
Well,
nefarious of them.
I'm only aware of two versions: my original version and this version that Berg made.
Oh, gotcha. So is this one today? Is this the Berg updated version?
Yeah. This is the Berg updated version, and I don't think they're using my original version in QM because they said it didn't look good enough for QM. So.
Oh, poor Snark. I think it's a tremendous map. I think it's a foundation.
Well, this is the Berg edit. Thanks a lot, Ivor.
No, this isn't. Well, he added that's classic Berg. Comes in, adds a few trees, tries to take all the credit. No.
Oh, he actually did a phenomenal job making it look better. So.
Wait, what was it? But I feel like this is still. I feel like I've only really seen one, like the core version. Like the cliffs and stuff haven't changed, have they?
No. The way it's played, it has not changed. The idea is the same. Lots of options, lots of splits, forcing naval on the outside and on the inside. A lot of incentive to expand your base all over the place. That's the way this map was structured. Originally made by, the design idea was mine and Frank's originally. Frank claimed this was my best map ever.
Wow. Okay, you guys are about to see it. Snark's best map ever. Yeah, we've messed with it a few times, and I think we did quite a few 2v2s on it. I've always had a good time with it, but I think it's a good Fight Club map here. As you guys know, 5 players going at it. One single map, best of one, $50 going to the winner. Good nonstop action, and we got Tim the Terror. We got Root the Reaper. We're getting going already, Snark. I feel like I was just getting warmed up, asking you how you're doing. Are you ready for this?
Oh, dude, I'm ready. Some people, they survive the week by waiting for the weekend, right? They're like, oh, just 2 more work days, and then it's Friday, Saturday, and then I have off or whatever. For me, it's Fight Club night, dude. It's like all I have to do is survive till Wednesday, and then I get to chill and enjoy and have a great time, and watch a show, have a party, and the players you've got tonight, Ivor. Holy moly!
It's a good one. Yeah, we're kind of like right in this level. Like, there's no Marco here, there's no Latov, no Quas, no Kian, no Legend, but right below that, right below that, some really good. Gene, I think, is gonna be, Gene's probably the favorite in this group, Elo rating. But when you look at the Elo ratings, all these guys are pretty close. In Red Alert 2, Root is like right behind Gene. It's all pretty even, so should be a spicy one. Plus BO1s, you just never know what's gonna happen.
Well, there's actually an advantage to not going the top tier, which is, the top tier, you know exactly who's going to win it. This tier, yeah, it's not so clear cut, Ivor. We've had some crazy upsets, crazy stuff happens. And I love Minka with a positive energy coming in here. Snark and Ivor is my favorite commentator team.
That's why we do it. We do it for Minka. That's what we do it for around here. Keeping things positive. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me message two players. Turn on stream. You are up next, Kintaja. I've never had Kintaja on stream before, Snark.
Really? Oh, you're in for a treat. Kintaja plays like a beast. You're going to love him.
Should be a spicy one. Okay, let's see. Do I got everything? What do you think? Are the settings looking right to you, Snark? We got Root in yellow. We got Tim in red.
Yeah, RA2 mode, multi-ng, no dog engineering. Yeah, dude, it's looking good to me.
Let's hit it.
And the thing that's looking best to me is these players. Root is
oh
back.
Man, I'm excited. Starting things off, Allied versus Allied. You love to see it, boys. Red Alert 2 World Series. Pro Division, top level action coming at you here, Fight Club style, best of one, 5 players going at it, 1 player taking home the prize. Starting things off here in the top left, if you can't understand my animations, we got Tim the Terror facing off against Root the Reaper, Kintaja versus Gene after that, then we got Osama mixing in as well. Again, everyone plays each other once. We are here on the Lake Island map, so it'll be this map all day long here. BO1s, a Snark map with some edits by other players. Now, Snark, as the original father of this map, what are the keys to victory here on this map?
Well, what I personally love doing is obviously first ref is going to go on the gems that's right next to your base. That's just to get you started. And then what this map is designed to do, you're supposed to build down these 2 levels of cliffs, reach the center, right? Get those gems next to the center lake, which obviously, again, both players building towards each other. And obviously the options for split here, Ivor. How many paths can you see to your opponent's base, especially once they start building down those cliffs as they're doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, and so you start getting on these different levels, and really wacky things can happen. And there's kind of like these different bottlenecks, but you can go high, low. A lot of different things that can happen here. And it's certainly an Allied and a Soviet map here. Both players going Allied. Tim and Root are Allied main players. And look at this early IFV. 1 IFV and an IFV to counter. IFV wars here to start things off. Early MCV move here from Root and Tim matching.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now a Grizzly out to help counter these IFVs. Tim going hard for this power. I don't think it's going to work out for him. Root is a very, very top tier player, possibly S-class. Root has already moved, Collective has already moved. Tim has moved his MCV Root as well to this bigger gem patch in the bottom. But there's no drill there, right? So it's like, it's kind of a wasted ref.
Yeah, I guess to get on those gems and then sell and move maybe. But, ooh, and Root... Root was just probably somewhere at home putting a building for a moment there. Lost a couple tanks. Now needs to be careful here. Again, both players playing America. Okay, fairly even for the moment here. Minor advantage, tank advantage. So, Tim just a little bit ahead here. But we'll see. Now these paradrops start joining the action here. And an engineer IFV can repair some tanks possibly here from
Love
Tim.
love that out of Tim. Yeah, engineering. It's multi-engineering. You need 3 engineers to capture a building in multi-engineer mode, so he's not going to be able to capture anything with 1 engineer. And I love what Root was doing with the miners there on the gems, but Tim just cleaning up the tanks there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Root was thinking was going to happen there, but now he's out tanked 8-3, and the blow is coming to Root's face, I think. Maybe Tim doesn't have his head count right now. Maybe he's going to give Root a second, but yeah, Tim should be looking to get value here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is Tim's playhouse, right? The one game mode he's definitely top A, possibly S tier, is RA2 as Allied, always known as one of the best Allied players in the world in RA2. And we're seeing that here. Started up with an IFV opening and just crushed it from there.
Yeah, and now just blowing through from Tim. So Tim, pretty decisive first victory there. Root is the second highest rated Elo player in here, but yeah, Tim been around a lot longer and proving proving that there with that first game. Nice play from Tim. So let's get Kintaja and Gene in here.
Taja and Jean. All right, yeah. So decisive victory. Now again, Root has been away for a bit. Tim, we know, has been more active. But we've seen this before. We've seen, the player loses first game in Fight Club and then come back with a vengeance. And if there's one person I would never, ever count out, it's got to be Root.
Oh, yeah. Root's the kind of guy. He's not playing until he gets one loss. He's not even really trying until he gets a loss. Kintaja in here now. Kintaja with a green ping. I like that. Kintaja on time. First time on stream. Didn't know what to expect. So Kintaja versus Gene.
Yeah, so Kintaja, the only other one with the Marco genes, also coming out of Finland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. Based on, I didn't know what the name meant. I Googled it. It said plowman. So if plowman in Finnish. So Kintaja. I thought Kintaja to me kind of sounded like a Japanese word or something, but it's a Finnish word for plowman.
Interesting.
Now we know.
And playing Gene, no less. Gene, also a beast in RA2. Dude, you got the best group of players here. Kintaja, definitely a Soviet player. Hardly ever plays Allied, but he is so good at destroying Allied players. He is so good.
Yeah, we'll see. So I think so. Should be expect to see a Soviet versus Soviet here, but it's kind of fun. We do have some mixes. Like these first two matches will probably be mirrored Allied, Soviet, but we're gonna get some good Allied Soviet action in here. We expect to see Root and Tim playing Allied all day long. Gene and Kintaja playing Soviet. Osama probably Soviet as well. I would imagine on this map. Gene, okay.
Yeah. So and that's exactly what makes it interesting, right? You have these bona fide Allied players like Tim and Root, right, which definitely favor Allied, and they're so good. They have such a scary Allied. And then you got these monster Soviet players like Kintaja. Gene is a little bit more versatile, but still I feel like he prefers Soviet. Same with Osama. So it's definitely going to be interesting. We're not going to have just a Soul Fest.
Yeah, I mean, already to start things off with mirrored and Allied versus Soviet. It's gonna be fun to see on this map as well. But but now we go over to classic Rhino Wars. Now, Kintaja, I feel like Kintaja does play in random tournaments. I feel like I don't really see Kintaja when I was looking at the Elo ratings to see how high they were on that list. I just don't really think of them that much. Snark, have you seen their name around for a long time?
Kintaja's been around longer than I have, that's for sure.
Kintaja's been around. All right, guys. Well, that's what you get to know. Kintaja's been around for a long time. Predictions are in. Type red or yellow in the chat. Let's see how you guys are feeling about it. So yeah, Kintaja, I feel like always been around. I'm just trying to think why I've never been able to pin them down for a tournament before. But yeah, the Elo speaks for themselves. Again, if you guys ever want to see Elos for players, redalert2.com/ranks. You can check those out. Snark, what do you think? Who's taking this one?
This is going to be a close one. I'm going to have to give the edge to Kintaja just based on the way he was playing the best of the Unlucky 13 tournament. The man was looking beastly there. Now that was Yuri's Revenge. This is Red Alert 2, but Kintaja is in tip-top form for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I guess they play Yuri's Revenge and Red Alert 2 then. I guess they play both.
Yeah. Very versatile players here. Again, Kintaja, a Soviet. He's one of the famous Yuri killers in Yuri's Revenge, but he is also so good at just wrecking Allied players, and just a Sov king right here.
Glautrus, thanks for the sub, buddy. Yeah, so Gene, the Spider King, because he loves drones. Gene is a drone spammer and uses them very, very effectively. mixed and matched in with his tanks. Obviously, he's a top-level player. He's not just spamming drones like a noob, but using them very tactfully. It's always fun to kind of watch late game what he can do, especially Soviet for Soviet with those drones. But Gene, a top-level player and grinds a lot over on Rambo, the Chinese platform. Traditional rhinos and dogs down your throat kind of gameplay. But both these guys clearly know the map, and that's always fun. You know, you got to make sure everyone knows the map, and everyone's going to have a good start. Sometimes someone gets in here on a map, and if they haven't really practiced it or taken it very seriously, they can fall behind so quickly. But both these guys are looking good so far.
Yeah, well, they both know the map, but they're both playing it very differently right now. Ivor Gene on 2 war factories, but he's built all the way down the cliff. He's on 3 levels. Gene preferring to move his MCV and get those gems, that big batch of gems. Now Kintaj is going to start getting the gems in the center.
Yeah, and so interesting. So Gene wanted that second gem patch first. Look at these guys, both just little drone shenanigans early on. Oh yeah, wheel spin. I missed the wheel spin, Klaus. Was it for you? Klaus, wheel spin for Klaus. Look at this drone.
Oh my god.
The drone dancing. He's cornered. Oh, he gets out. Oh, he gets in a drone.
Oh my
he gets in a miner. That was amazing.
I cannot. Yeah, Kintaja's micro. I mean, those tank shells
wow.
were not hitting that drone.
Dodging tank shells. Oh, and the unit counter. The unit counter stopped again. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's stopping for some reason after some games. I wonder what the common denominator is on that.
Interesting. I do have to send you the newer version. That one has been much more consistent.
Okay, so what do we got? We got tanks. Okay, tanks and dogs. Tanks and dogs. You love to see it. Let's go to work, boys. Okay, drone on the backside.
Ooh. Yeah, Gene's drone not working out as well as Kintaja's drones have been working out. And the question from Kintaja now he's on 4 war factories all the way in the bottom level. Where does he move from here? How does he build from here? Gene has stayed mostly in his corner of the map. He's getting that big ore patch in the top right corner at the moment. And it's going to come down, again, this map is designed to be who can split and maneuver better.
Yeah, it's fun watching them both kind of try to jockey for that higher ground. You don't want to get caught on the middle ground here. Gene going to try to run here. Fairly even. Oh, nice sentry gun from Gene. That'll be enough to push him back.
Absolutely. A beautiful defense there from Gene. He's now building across the top here. Going to try and get this next ore patch. Kintaja moving his MCV now, possibly to the gem patch. And yeah, I'm a little disappointed. Again, this map is supposed to be played with many splits. That's the way it's designed. Currently, they're just keeping their army in one big bundle and kind of a chilled cast contest at the moment.
We want the splits. 3 war factories to 4 war factories. Both players just continue to spread out and clean up the ore. And yeah, 2 big bundles for the moment. Someone could certainly, you think they could get rewarded. A nice little 4 tank peel off backside. A lot of places you could go with it. Let's see.
Yeah, indeed. I love how Gene's repairing some of his rhinos on the back end. He already has the service depot, so why not use it?
Yeah, you got to bring the service depot out to deal with those early drone shenanigans. Might as well put it to use. I like it. And look at this right now. It's so funny because you watch this, you're like, what's going on? But it's just like, you bounce, and then you pounce. And then he picks up 1 tank, gets out of position. Now we will see a little bit of a split here. Kintaja on a 3 tank split. Both players going broke for the moment. Big battle here. Fodder advantage for Kintaja.
Wow, and the tank control's so much better for Kintaja as well. He's going to take this fight easily.
And Gene's dogs.
Oh, but the cliff?
Wow, Gene's dog's late to the fight. Gene able to hop up on that cliff, try to buy himself a moment, but Kintaja in the driver's seat right now, and Gene in the middle of an MCV move in the middle of that now could be a bit exposed. Kintaja looking to continue to apply pressure, and you see Gene's looking for a base trade. He's looking to try to kind of create an offensive presence to try maybe confuse Kintaja here because Kintaja is ahead. Yeah. Kintaja not going to take the base trade, going to go back and try to clean these up.
Well, yeah, but we completely missed a split in the top right. Kintaja getting miners left, right, and center, just getting so much value that we completely missed that. Which is why he felt perfectly comfortable going back to defense because he was getting offensive value. Gene down to just 5 miners versus Kintaja's 10 miners right now. So, Kintaja's going to take this one easily.
Wow.
And for once, my prediction was right, Ivor.
Wow, you got a good job, Kintaja. Wow, Kintaja, get familiar with Kintaja. That was very, very impressive. And to out-rhino a player like Gene, very impressive. So it was only a 3 tank split Kintaja brought down in the middle right before that engagement, and those guys looped around and started taking miners. Is that right?
Yeah, they were in. I didn't see what they were doing earlier on, but I all of a sudden I noticed there's these 3 tanks inside Gene's base just sniping miners. So we spoke about the splits on this map and how important they are, and Kintaja using that to his advantage and getting value. So very nicely played there from Kintaja.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The split came through. Very nice. So now we got Tim versus Osama. Tim versus Osama.
Tim versus Osama. Oh, that's interesting. I hope Tim goes Allied, and I hope Osama goes Soviet. That's the matchup I want to see. Tim again, considered one of the best Allied players in the world in Red Alert 2. Osama has been proving himself in all the battlegrounds, everywhere. Yuri's Revenge, Blitz, RE2. He's just proved to be one of the best players out there. So this should be very interesting.
Yeah, Osama. It's been fun watching him climb the ranks. Osama, a very, very tough player in all 3 game modes. Osama versus Tim now will get some good Soviet versus Allied action. Expect to see it here. Osama in yellow, Tim in red. Abdo got the wheel spin. You got the prediction right. You believed in Kintaja. You win nothing though. Remember, get those predictions in, guys. You got to spin the cash wheel. The cash wheel has a thing where it keeps increasing. It could roll up to $100. It could roll up to an infinite amount of money. So any amount of money could be won on this cash wheel. All right, let's get it going.
Yeah, and look at that. Steedy and YouTube finally catching a live stream. Happy to be here.
Steedy86 is all for you, buddy. That's why we're here, man. Glad you're catching one. Osama versus Tim. Let's get these predictions going here. Type red or yellow in the chat. Let's see how you guys are feeling about this one. So Allied versus Soviet. Now let's say we had 2 computers perfectly matched. One was Allied, one was Soviet. Where do you think? What do you think on this map? Even if it's close to, even if it's fairly even, which way do you think it's going to tilt? Allied versus Soviet, played perfectly.
Well, that's the thing about this map. I feel like it's very, very even because all of the cliffs, so Allied gets to play with the Rocketeers and maneuver all over the place. On the other hand, the ability to split up rhinos and forcing the Allied player to expand, that keeps him exposed, which allows the Soviet player to get value. I feel like it will literally come down to the better player, an Allied Soviet. I personally think this is a very balanced map. I'm not biased at all. Don't know who made this map. But
Yeah. Whenever you ask a map maker about their own map, perfectly balanced. What are you talking about? There is no advantage for either faction. Polier with the gifted subs. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So we saw Tim came out kicking in that first point. And I'm always excited when an Allied player's playing good. But Osama has been a player we've been talking about so much. I feel like, I guess I say recently over the past year or so. But in literally in all 3 game modes, he recently won the Blitz finals, taking down Luke, which is incredibly difficult to do. But in Yuri's Revenge, taking down players like Legend, and even in regular Red Alert 2, proving himself. So let's see what Osama can do here, see if he's on his game today.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it's got to be interesting. And look at this gorgeous build from Tim there. 3 buildings across the middle level here, able to stretch all the way to the 3rd level. Is going to be able to build down there on Osama with a very, very similar build. It's interesting because we saw Tim and Root first game move MCV, right? This time he's stretching down. Doesn't want, as Allied facing Soviet, he doesn't want to expose his MCV, put it out in the middle of nowhere and have to defend it. And it looks like Tim is going to be the one going on the offensive first.
Yeah. Yeah, again, and Tim just being so aggressive here. And it's fun to see an allied player that is aggressive like this, that is confident and has the ability to take a couple Grizzlies and go right into some Rhinos. Look at him playing the higher ground there. No fodder in this position. Really, really tough. Needs to perfectly click down these tanks. Does get caught a little bit there, shooting fodder for a moment. And going to try to pull. Oh, he pulls back to his reinforcements. Okay, pretty good little exchange.
Love that. Took out the flak track as well. Osama, though, on 2 war factories at the moment. Tim didn't really get anything done with that push, but yeah, you gotta love the confidence. After building down to the 3rd level, has moved his MCV to this gem patch. In the meantime, Osama still building from his original MCV position.
Wow, yeah, Osama never moved the MCV. That's yeah, a little different than what we've seen from everyone else so far.
Yeah. Again, not biased at all here, but that's what's beautiful about this map. Several ways to play it.
Yeah, more than one way to skin a cat here. And then Tim gets over to this gem patch. Doesn't have a refinery down there yet, though. Oh, the unit counter. Ah, damn it. Forgot to turn the unit counter on. Okay. Wow, yeah, and I like I mean, I like it from both. It's funny to see players doing such different things, but also, but both looking pretty good here. I'm always excited once you get into more of a mid game from Tim. It's fun once you start juggling, I think, the Rocketeers and the flak tracks from the Soviet player.
Oh, look at this. Look at this split. How does Osama react? This is going to be annoying to deal with. On the bottom level, his power plant is exposed, and Tim controlling these splits really nicely. I also love the single Rocketeer groups, forcing flak tracks to be everywhere, right? So annoying for Osama to have to make flak tracks for so few Rocketeers. Tim getting a little caught out there, but he did take out a power plant and force Osama back to the second level here.
Yeah, I like that idea there. I mean, ultimately, pretty well defended by Osama. But yeah, it's a good point with the Rocketeers. You know, oftentimes you start spamming Rocketeers, the other player spams flak tracks. It kind of balances out. But it's funny just to have such a small amount and still require the flak tracks. And now Osama decides to go flak cannon to try to keep his Rhino tank still pushing. Big engagement here, and those Rockies doing yeah, with the flak cannon. Oh, and Tim now in trouble. Tim now a bit out of position. His tanks need to retreat. So a paradrop coming in. Okay.
Yeah, Osama calm, cool, and collected with a beautiful, perfect defense. They're now going to go for the offensive push, but no flak track in that group, so these Rocketeers are going to get chip damage. Is going to force Osama back. Flak track coming up here. Tim needs to be careful here because Osama, you know, it's 8 versus 8 tanks at the moment, and we all know Rhinos are better than Grizzlies.
Yeah, and Tim only on 1 War Factory, Osama on 2, so those tank numbers are going to continue to improve. And I really like that flak cannon move from Osama there. Instead of trying to deal with juggling the flak tracks, he threw the flak cannon up, kept his Rhinos pumping, and then also yeah, just did not freak out there. I mean, sometimes that kind of pressure coming at you from multiple sides, it forces you to make a mistake, and Osama didn't make a mistake there.
Indeed. Tim coming in for the offensive again. Again, Osama's going to be the one defending. Does move his MCV after the 3rd War Factory. Let's see if Tim can get anything done here. Brings out the paradrop ahead of the tanks. But yeah, Osama just countering so good. He's like chilling. He's like, come at me. Come at me. Attack me. I dare you. And Tim has been coming at him again and again and again, but unable so far to get anything done.
Yeah, and
a split. I like that.
You know, Osama, he's got so many good refineries and positions. He's on 3 War Factories. Yeah, he's perfectly comfortable here just kind of swatting Tim away. And Tim just not really able to find an offensive tool. Tim has a couple refineries he could maybe try to sell off here. But it's still a good build. But is Tim on 1 War Factory right now? 2 War Factories for Tim.
Yeah, two War Factories for Tim. Osama needs to react to this because all the tanks are going. Yeah, he's reacting. No, dude, Osama's just chilling, man. He is so good at countering what Tim's doing. Again, another split to the bottom here. Osama splitting his tanks, but not evenly. Tim could go in the top here and win this fight if he wants to.
And Osama could go in on the bottom, so it's a little bit of a kind of a yin-yang here. And now a good little batch of Rockies coming in. Let's see.
Oh, love that. That's annoying.
Yeah, and Osama doesn't only has 1 flak track maybe. And now, so Osama.
Now so much going on here. There's 2 groups of Rocketeers. There's Grizzlies going to the top towards Osama's MCV. In the meantime, Osama is in Tim's base, getting value with his own Rhinos.
MCV
2
died.
splits from Tim. Oh my God, what is going on right now?
Backside.
This is so hard to track.
Yeah, Tim. Oh, wow. Okay. Both players in each other's bases right now. The problem is that Tim's army is going to go down, and Tim has nothing to defend against Osama's army in his base.
Yeah, Osama doesn't have that many tanks inside Tim's base, but he went for the barracks. He's going to get the AFC as well.
He's going to get both War Factories. He's going to take both of Osama's War Factories. So now Tim just has to hold.
So many
oh no!
tanks.
Oh no! He brings the
So
tanks.
many
Will he get this? He will get it.
Wow. Yeah, there's just so many tanks for Osama right now. I'm not sure it's going to matter.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Tim, I mean, he understood the assignment, get the MCV, get the War Factories, but yeah, Osama just came out with too many tanks standing. So Tim going to do everything he can to hold the line, bring out the GIs. It's not going to matter. An elite Rhino in that tank to make matters worse.
Dives on the elite, but he just doesn't have enough tanks. Wow, that was a crazy one, dude. There was a moment there where
he still had another War Factory. But yeah.
Yeah.
I thought when Tim split and took those 2 War Factories, I thought he was taking his final 2. I'm like, this is sick. But not only did Osama have another War Factory, he still had about 20 tanks standing. But spicy one, and pretty impressive though to see that level of aggression from Tim, and Osama just not making mistakes.
Indeed. Yeah, Osama's defense there was perfect. I feel like what Tim was missing was tech at that point.
Yeah.
Mirage can be so annoying on this map. Force Osama to make Desolators, and it's hard to cover everything with Desos here. But dude, yeah, crazy game. There was a moment there where Tim was in Osama's base with 2 splits and 2 Rocketeer splits, and Osama was in in Tim's base. So absolutely hectic game there.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where Tim's plan was to not like go tech. Like he wanted to try to do it like with Rockies, Dogs, and Grizzlies. And when that plan didn't work, he just wasn't able to pivot over. And that can be hard at the middle of the game to be all of a sudden like, oh my god, I need a completely different plan. But yeah, he wanted to do it quick and fast. And Root, where once Osama denied that, yeah, Tim just didn't get over to tech. But yeah, well played by both players. So Kintaja now in yellow. Root in red, and Root going Soviet here.
Interesting. Would have expected him to go Allied. Perhaps after seeing Tim fail to beat Osama's Allied, he's feeling a little bit discouraged. But I suppose we'll find out. I mean, dude, it looked like Tim had it, right? But Osama's ability to just be calm and defend, absolutely crazy. Don't forget the unit counter.
Unit counter is on. Unit counter is on. All right.
Yo, Ed in the chat. I wish Ed were here hanging out with us.
I know this whole thing where like Ed has a job is just like really not doing it for me. Like, oh, it's the middle of a Wednesday. I can't be playing 20-year-old video games. It's like, come on, Ed. Come on.
Yeah, Ed, get a life.
Blazer.
Get your priorities in order.
Blazer wins the last prediction. He wins nothing. New prediction is up. Type red or yellow in the chat. Kintaja in yellow and Root, the Reaper, in red. Soviet versus Soviet. Seeing some Soviet here from Root. Should be interesting. And I think our unit counter is working. Yes, it is.
Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so Root again in Soviet on the right hand side here, Kintaja in yellow on the left. Both of them Soviet. We saw a SVS game earlier where Kintaja absolutely wrecked Gene. I mean, it was just a deconstruction of what Gene was doing there. He took him apart piece by piece. It was very impressive. Root, we saw earlier play Tim AVA, now switching to Soviet. Gonna be interesting to see what Root's plan in here is as Soviet. He usually goes in with a plan. He doesn't just wing it.
Yeah, I mean he's a tactical player. I'm a little bit surprised. I think to see Kintaja dismantle Gene's Soviet, you know, which was obviously such a strong Soviet player, traditional Soviet player, to be like, I mean, I feel like Root could be like, oh, I'm an Allied player. I can do it differently. But basically Root's saying, I'm gonna try to do what Gene did better. And I think of Root as a very top-level player with Allied, but with Soviet, I don't think of him being on a similar level as Gene. So for him to try to play Soviet at a higher level than Gene, to have a different outcome than Gene had versus Kintaja, it's tricky, but I got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Root incorporating the service depot into his build. He's going to use it to stretch down lower and be safeguarded from drones. Kintaja as well, although I don't feel like he used it as effectively to base stretch. On the other hand, it's in a better position in between both minor patches. So if he does need to repair, they're not going to have to travel far.
Yeah, and both players just gearing up. No player switching over to Rhinos yet. It's kind of always fun, these early games, like both players just watching each other's War Factory doors. Like, when are you going tanks? When are you going tanks? You going miners? I'm going miners. Both players bolstering up now. 6 to 7 miners, 2 War Factories for both.
And there you go. Kintaja blinks first, goes for a Rhino. He did successfully drone one of Root's miners. Root does send it to the service depot to repair. Root down to the 3rd level right now. And Kintaja has some Rhinos on the field heading towards Root's base.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of funny. Someone in the chat, yeah, these are both Finnish players. It's kind of weird how, like, I feel like we have one player from every country, and then there's just, like, a couple random countries that multiple good players are from. A couple good players from Jordan, a couple good players from Finland. It's so random. And, like, a bunch of people from the Netherlands, I feel like Red Alert 2 for some reason. And then some countries, like, aren't represented at all. We don't have any Denmark. Where are the Denmark players, Snark? Why do we have Finnish players and not Denmark players? Doesn't make any sense.
Where are the Denmark players?
That's the most important question I want to know. Where the fuck are the Denmark players? Oh, yeah, we can't be swearing on YouTube, Snark. Okay.
Oh, Paf is from Denmark.
Paf's from Denmark? Okay.
Yep.
I think
he's originally from Pakistan, but he lives in Denmark.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. So we do have a Denmark player. Okay, 8 tanks to 8 tanks. Look how even this is. 3 War Factories, 1 dog advantage for Root. Can he work it out in his favor? Wow, very, very even right now. 1 miner behind.
Yeah,
Kintaja.
Osama loving Root's build here, and I love it as well. Look at him. He's got all the ore patches next to his base have a ref next to them. Kintaja a little bit more, just the ones on his path down the cliffs here. On the other hand, I mean, Root's ahead in every aspect.
Yeah,
Kintaja has one more war factory.
just got a war factory advantage, but Root with that 2 miner advantage. Kintaja could be spreading himself too thin here. As you see, watch his money. His money's going to start bottoming out here.
Oh, but the split, we spoke about the splits and the importance of them. He's going to snipe a miner down there. So beautiful. Really nice out of Kintaja, just in and out. Gets the miner.
Okay, yeah, and now this army from Root's gonna get caught out of position. His other army's back at home smoking cigarettes, so Root's just gonna dive in here, and he's not. Maybe was able to thin a couple tanks out, but that's not exactly what Root wanted there. Maybe just gonna pull his attention. Oh, Root joining up on the top side.
Yeah, Root sending more tanks to the top and successfully defending bottom. Kintaja a little bit in trouble here, putting out sentry guns. Kintaja can try to defend bottom, can he?
Root gonna come ahead on the bottom. Kintaja should be able to defend this top though. Root 4 tanks into the belly of the beast, and I like this. These tanks, Root has it's like the tornado strategy. He's got one army just driving circles around while the other army works on the backside, and now they all meet back up. Oh no, nope, they're still driving. These guys are cruising, man. Okay.
Absolutely phenomenal, and Kintaja gets an elite. That's got to be frustrating, and he does successfully defend. Now Kintaja is behind on miners, and he is completely broke. Root has the miner numbers and he has the cash. Problem is, Kintaja has the tank numbers. Can Root defend this attack?
And I love seeing that from Kintaja. There is no oh, we defended. Let's congratulate ourselves. You got to go right downfield. You know you took some hits. You got to get down. You got to repay the favor. And with that elite, I was hoping to get something done, but Root very quickly to defend here. And look at the financial position here at the 5-6 minute mark. Kintaja doesn't have much money in the bank. Not quite. Yeah, going broke for a little bit.
Yeah, going broke for sure. Forced to move his MCV to this gem patch. Something Roots doesn't have to do, because look at this freaking build out of Roots. Look at this build, man.
Whoa. Yeah, Root never had to move the MCV. Very, very nice. And now Root out with drones. Interesting a little bit here. Is obviously out tanked, but the drone numbers aren't being reflected on the unit counter right now. Root with a war factory advantage, Root with a miner advantage. Now, if Root, Taj was able to fully thwart this drone hit.
Yeah, that would be nice for him. Let's see if he can defend versus drones. One of his tanks is drones. Oh, gets another one.
And he passed to pull all of his miners back. He doesn't want his miners to get drones, so he's trying to micro his miners back. It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, he must have TT'd his miners, because every single one of Kintaja's miners is on this gem patch, which is going to run out very, very quickly here. He needs to spread them out to the other refs that still have ore next to them. In the meantime, Root coming in with a huge split in the bottom here. Kintaja is nowhere to be seen on the defense for this. This is going to be very problematic for him.
Yeah. Oh, and Root just cleans up those tanks. Sentry gun out, but Kintaja is a little overcommitted to this topside attack. But these drones from Root, these tactical drones, I love that. And now Root being so annoying up on the cliff, shooting down. Another sentry gun to defend, but Root getting nice value on that backside and just menacing on the top side, and Kintaja just a little bit overcommitting. Now look at all these miners befuddled on this one refinery.
Yeah, but the eco came into play big time. Look at this army coming in from Root in the bottom. I mean, it's practically over at this point.
Yep.
Kintaja's been hit panic button possible. No, he's still trying to defend this top. Root's being so annoying right now with these tanks.
Yeah, and that now moving the MCV, but I think probably didn't see this bottom side split, and that's what happens, you know, when you have a 6-2 war factory advantage. 30 rhinos to 15 now at this point. So that's well, that's gonna pretty much be it. But Kintaja's got an army downfield, gonna try to go for a base trade, but Root can just spam. Like, Root's drones are just gonna absolutely materialize at this point. And when it comes down to clicking buildings, Root's gonna win that foot race.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, we were talking again and again about the importance of splits on this map. Root utilizing that so good, utilizing the cliffs, utilizing the map, really, really playing the map the way it's supposed to be played. And it looks like he's going to take this one.
Yeah, that Root absolutely just played this map like a fiddle. From the build order to the way he was playing the cliffs and the splits. Yeah, Root absolutely understood the assignment. I underestimated Root's Soviet. Yeah, I mean, someone's saying Root's a good Soviet player. Of course, Root, I mean, at the top level, most players are very good with both. But obviously, Root has a higher allied elo. So seeing Root come in here with Soviet and get the job done, Root looking tough.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Root with Soviet being able to take out Kintaja, who took out Gene earlier, SVS. We saw how good Kintaja is as Soviet. Root able to take one home. But we spoke about this, right? Root lost the first game versus Tim, and we said we know what happens when Root loses. He doesn't lose any type of motivation. He doubles down.
Yeah, and the people. It's kind of funny in BO1, this players like that, because you're kind of like, yeah, like you hope you play them early before they kind of get dialed in. Now Root, we're seeing like Root like went from a caterpillar to a butterfly there, from his first game to his last. Very very nice. So now we got Gene versus Osama. Gene versus.
Yeah. So Gene currently the only one who hasn't played 2 games and the only one who hasn't won a game yet. No, sorry, not the only one who hasn't played 2 games. The only one who hasn't won a game yet. Everybody has exactly 1 point on the board, except for Gene. If he can get a point on the board here versus Osama, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be everybody winning exactly 1 game.
Yeah, we've we've gotten kind of lucky. This format, I think it's fun, especially these days. I'm only trying to stream for about a couple hours, so it's a fun way to get a bunch of players involved, keep things spicy. Also, a long series is tough because even if you have 2 even players, if one player's getting blown out, you kind of have to follow it through. Whereas this is just, I don't know. I really, as far as entertainment goes, I really like it. The problem with it is that you can get into some tie situations where no one's happy. I mean, if we were to get like a 3-way tie, it can get a little wacky. But we've been getting lucky lately. But this is the most even we've seen. Like you said, if Gene wins this one, everyone will have 1 win. So it'd be interesting to see what happens the rest of these games. Osama in red.
And it looks like we're going to get another SVS matchup here. This is going to be interesting. Dude, the way Osama was so chill versus Tim. Like his defense, it was like almost like, oh, he's moving tanks there. Okay, I'll move some tanks there and defend it. Yawn.
Yeah, this little like kind of yawning game style. Maybe that's the new meta. I'm not sure. I liked it though. He was not freaking out. There's no freaking out. That's for sure. Let's get the predictions up, guys. You can type red or yellow in the chat. What do you think, Ed? You tell us, Ed. You set the bar. Let the other people know. A lot of these viewers don't know these guys. They need Ed to tell them. Stephen with a double prediction. He goes yellow twice. I like that. Type red or yellow in the chat. Even if you're on YouTube, this should work. The bot should be programmed now to read your chat. So type red or yellow. Get a chance to spin the cash wheel if you're right. So Gene on the right side here. Osama on the left. Oh, sorry. I'll take this down. So Osama beat Tim. Osama's looking good today, Snark. I think Osama's got the juice.
Yeah. Again, do not count Gene out. When he turns it on, he turns it on. And like I said, everybody's gotten 1 point. So some have lost, some have won, We'll see if Gene's able to get that 1 point on the board and even it out for all 5 players, or will Osama start pulling ahead?
Yeah. Well, this one will kind of see where we're at here in the first round. Judge Power with the biddies. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Snark, I just finished Game of Thrones. I just rewatched the entire thing again. Have you watched it through before?
Oh, I definitely watched it through, and it's funny that you say that because I'm literally in the middle of rewatching. Just finished season 5.
Oh, really? Man, I'll tell you, I would say it's definitely easier the second time through, like knowing how bad you're gonna get screwed in the last season. Whereas like the first time through, I feel like every time something ridiculous would happen, you kept being like, well, maybe, like, let's stay hopeful. Like, they've never wronged us before. And then when it ends, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Watching it through this time with more of like a nihilistic view, like, you're going to get screwed, was a little bit better. But what they did to us in that last season, Snark, it's just wrong. It was cruel and wrong.
Yeah, you really should stop after season 6 and then leave it to the imagination from there. Right?
Yep.
Just make up your own ending, because if you're gonna leave it to the showrunners, you're gonna be disappointed for sure.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Make it up yourself. And you can go on Reddit. There's way better. I mean, I can pull 7 different versions out of my ass that are better than the actual version. Absolute travesty. So far, pretty even. Building for building here. Osama War Factory advantage. Oh, no. Wow. This is almost identical, huh, Snark?
Yeah, very, very similar builds. And look, the second War Factory down the 3rd level, they're doing exactly the same thing here. I don't like Gene's miners though. Look at these 5 miners on a single ore patch. I don't like that at all. I love the way Osama has his spread out much more.
Yeah, and these little things do matter, and these, especially a Soviet versus Soviet game at the top level, where it's going to come down to Rhino and Rhino, dog for dog. The little things matter, and yeah, the minor distribution, a little bit better there, for, yeah, for Osama. So now Osama, yeah, I like that kind of chill game style. You know, I think maybe he kind of knew that Tim was gonna, maybe he just kind of thought Tim was gonna be a little bit angsty with his attack, but now we see Osama, the first one here, trying to get on the doorstep and kind of try to jab, but Gene, where are we? Wow, almost perfectly even. Dog advantage.
Yeah, and Gene, oh god, but this is going to be interesting because Osama's like, should I attack? Should I base trade? No, because Gene catches him completely out of position here. This is a beautiful, brilliant attack from Gene where you put your entire army between two smaller armies, and then you just micro to kill one of the armies because you have the tick advantage. Beautiful out of Gene there. Brilliant.
Wow, that was literally every single thing that Gene wanted to happen there happened. The way that Osama's army, his follow-up army, got split around this cliff. That was really, really nice from Gene. Saw a little opening there and just absolutely made Osama pay for it. Wow, now a sentry gun out, but and I think that's what's so crazy in a game like this where it can be, you know, perfectly even, right? Perfectly even, and then one mistake. And wow.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely crazy. You do not expect Osama to go down that fast. Like you said, Gene saw a very particular specific opening and he grabbed it as fast as he could. Really beautiful map awareness there, game awareness there from Gene, noticing Osama's tanks a little bit out of position and forcing him to come back, but in a very awkward pathing, which puts us in a very weird situation, Ivor. Literally every single one of these 5 players you brought on have 1 point on the board right now.
Yeah, through the first wave here, which we've never had happen in a Fight Club, and you'll have to see it. I mean, this whole thing of trying to get 5 players top level of similar skill levels to get good games is really, really tough to do. Obviously, we have a very small player pool in this 20-year-old game, but hey, this could be the closest we've ever had. I mean, we've never had this happen in a Fight Club. So let's see what happens in the second wave here. Kintaja versus Tim the Terror. Let's get it going.
Yeah, for all we know, you're going to come to a situation where everybody has 2 points, and then what are you going to do, Ivor?
I forget. I mean, is it possible for everyone? There's a few scenarios that aren't possible.
If you have 5 players, that means 10 games in total. Each player plays, right, 2 to each other player. Right? You have in total you have 10 games.
No,
do you
in
agree
total
with me there?
With 5 players in total, is it 10 games?
10 games.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
In total, you have 10 games. If each player wins exactly 2 games, then that's it. It's
right. Yeah, everyone could.
Potentially, it's possible.
Yeah, everyone could get 2 wins. Wow. Well, yeah, a five-way tie. Everyone gets $10. We just go home.
Yeah. Then what do you? I want it to happen just to see what you're gonna do.
Steven, you got the prediction right on that last one. You win nothing. The wheel's being cruel today, but in some ways, you know, some people say, like when you're gambling, some people see a slot machine and no one's getting paid out. It's just taking all their money. It doesn't pay out anything. And people say, oh, that slot machine is bad. But really what I see is a slot machine heating up. So this wheel's giving about a bunch of nothings. That wheel's heating up, guys. The next prediction, someone could take home any amount of money. Predictions up, type red or yellow in the chat. Tim on the right, Kintaj on the left. And we got our first Allied versus Soviet of the day,
Give me
sir.
a high five, comrade.
Not our first. We saw Tim try to take out Osama earlier as Soviet. Unsuccessful. Osama with a beautiful counter there. Tim sticking to the Allied, and Kintaja, the Allied killer here, versus one of the best Allied RE2 players in the world.
Yeah, and Kintaja coming off a loss. You know, there is certainly the mental aspects of it. Both these players, well, I mean, I don't know. It's normally there's more momentum to talk about. In this case, I guess everyone perfectly even. And now in this second leg, people got to prove themselves. Tim's
Indeed, that was the warm-up round. Now it's the real round.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. You watched that whole first side of it. So Tim, I wonder what Tim has learned from this map, if he's going to adjust at all. Tim, I like the run and gun style. I like Grizzlies and Dogs and Rockies and getting it done that way. But I wonder if he might hesitate a little bit. Maybe try to get Battle Lab out.
Yeah, I'm curious if Kintaja can do what Osama did. I mean, Osama just was able to keep up with all the crazy shenanigans. He had the flag cannons exactly where he needed them. He put the tanks in to counter Tim's splits perfectly. Not every player can keep up with that kind of intense speed that Tim knows how to throw at you.
Yeah, it was funny that is like we've seen a couple of versions of it too. Yeah, and so America is France viable on this map, Snark? What do we know? Could we see some Grand Cannons here?
It's interesting idea. I mean, that's one of the reasons you have naval here, right? It's like to get the bottom 2 levels, you're going to make naval in the center. To get the top 2 levels, you're going to make naval on the outside. If you see your opponent camping with too many cannons, there are a lot of counters you can do.
Oh, right. The naval counter would be pretty tough, and it would be tough to really like walk over and get offensive value with the cannons. I look at every map, always think, could France? We start doing a France bounty, I think. Drone counter. We just start saying, hey, and if you win with France, you get a little bonus. The people need their France, man. We need more France in our lives.
People need their France, indeed. Yeah, so Kintaja up to 2 war factories at the moment. He's built down to all 3 levels here. And Tim also built down to the 3rd level.
Oh, Snark? We've lost Snark. We've lost Snark. Okay. All right. No one freak out. No one freak out. These things happen. All right. 9 tank. So a little tank advantage here for Tim. That's what he wants. Obviously, Grizzly versus Rhinos. Paradrop on the hill gets cleaned up. That's not what he wanted. Yeah, getting value out of the paradrops here. I think we've seen that from Tim. A few of his paradrops throughout these games just kind of cleaned up instantly. Getting value out of paradrops is so big for the allied player. Try to pull attention, try to get a leg up in the obviously tank fights where they can get behind. And now Rocketeer's out now as well for Tim. Tim's money in a little bit of a worse position. Kintaja could be sending his conscripts to college. Has some money in the bank. But both players, very similar build. I guess we kind of saw this meta develop. I was going to say no MCV moves here, as we do see an MCV move here now coming from Kintaja. But both players just stretching towards that center, whereas earlier on today, we kind of saw those early MCV moves here a little bit more. Snark. Snark, you're just talking. I'm just ignoring you. Yeah, that's weird. We'll get it sorted after this game, Snark. All right, MCV move here up to this gem patch now for Kintaja. I guess that makes sense because there is this gem patch that's tough to stretch to. Although we aren't seeing that match from Tim. So now we see a little bit of a split. Tim going to go high-low. So 4 tanks going hunting on the top side. Kintaja peels off to defend. More than enough Rhinos to defend. Oh, paradrop on the hill here being a little bit menacing, but not going to get much value. Kintaja now into the 2nd level. Tim's army a bit out of position. The higher ground here so big. Oh, that army comes back? Was that Tim's topside split? Comes back and gets cleaned up. Rockies,
defense here.
Hey, Snark's back. I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me. Amazing.
Wait, that was so weird. What
Oh.
possibly just changed? Okay, there's so many Rocketeers. There's no anti-air. He needs to be chipping away with these Rocketeers while he can. Okay, now the flak's into the fight.
Yeah, dude, there's so many Rhinos on fodder here. I mean, there are a lot of choke points. I wish there was more paradrops here for Tim to defend, but he doesn't have any. And Kintaja's going to go up and down, and Tim completely broke.
Yeah, Tim completely broke.
Starting gems. Tim still has starting gems that he didn't get. Shame on him.
Ooh.
Oh, Rocky's going to go downfield?
Okay, defensive paradrop. Rocky's into the belly of the beast. Going to go out right at the power plant. And wow, good expectations as the flak cannon comes out, but he has enough power. That he will go low power here, though. He will go low.
No, Kintaja still has power.
What? Oh man, that's a keyboard breaker.
Unexpected. Yeah, I mean, why did Kintaja have so many extra power plants? That's interesting.
Yeah.
And now Kintaja pushing in the bottom.
To go into the enemy base with your Rockies, take out 2 power plants, and you see his flat cannon still pummeling you. And Tim, I guess, looking for a base trade here. Tim's economy here just been struggling a little bit.
Interesting. Kintaja's going to go back to defense. He should be trading here, I think, and spamming drones.
Oh, so Tim gets the
MCV goes down.
Wow, and yeah, as a Soviet versus Allied player, the drones are just so crucial in these positions to be able to just let the drones defend the home front. But Tim gets exactly what
Tim should not stay there.
He's going to get overwhelmed. He has to stay on the move, but Tim was able to get what he wanted in terms of delaying this game and getting offensive value, but you got to think this counterpunch is going to be devastating. 20 Rhinos to 15 Grizzlies. And Tim's reinforcements just get smoked.
Oh yeah, Tim needs to be careful. He's waypointing his Grizzlies here, and it's not working out well for him. He's microing down these Rhinos, though, in Kintaja's base. Doesn't win that fight, though. Kintaja takes it. It looks like Kintaja's going to take this game, as Tim has nothing left at home.
Yeah, and it's funny, we've seen that. I feel like so many times that move from Tim there, we would have just seen a straight base trade from the Soviet player. We've seen that a couple times where Kintaja chooses to fall back and kind of mitigate, and it's worked out well. I think it's much easier just to say base trade, spam drones, but Kintaja's doing some interesting calculations in those positions. Well played.
Yeah. Again, I don't feel like Tim is using the Allied as good as he should be. He's been throwing away Grizzlies. He hasn't been able to outmaneuver. I mean, yeah, you got to use the Grizzly speed, and you got to use the Rocketeers, right? You attack at one angle, you force a flat cannon, you move to another angle, use the advantage of the cliffs. Kintaja, the first player so far to get 2 on the board.
Yeah. Okay. So Kintaja up in this the second group here. Well, same group, second line. So now we have Root versus Gene. Root versus Gene. Will we see another Soviet from Root? See him.
Gonna be interesting. I mean, he was so convincing in his previous Soviet play there. It's funny because as Allied, he only lost versus Allied.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting that he I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear Root's mindset with these Soviet picks. Tim rejoins the lobby. We don't need you, buddy, but I love your enthusiasm. Gene in red, Root yellow.
All right. So again, we're gonna get a Soviet versus Soviet game here. It's funny. We saw Gene beat Osama with his Soviet, but it was a very fast game. Outmaneuvered Osama there. Osama caught out of position here. Again, I wish I saw more splits out of these players, taking advantage of all the ways to reach your opponent's base and harass them.
Yeah, and I would like to see. I think it's a little sad we're not seeing Root's Allied. I mean, obviously, I always love Allied versus Soviet, but hey, $50 on the line, a lot. I mean, and also these players want to win. So Root, smart player, just thinks he can do it better with Soviet. So Root versus Gene here. Predictions are up. Type red or yellow. Blazer, you got another correct prediction right. Blazer's on fire, man. Blazer now rolling for $10. The wheel's hot. What did I tell you guys? Never mind, you win nothing. Okay, Root Soviet. Root Soviet's looking nasty, Snark. You think he's got the juice for it?
Yeah, Root Soviet was looking super good previously. We're gonna see if he's able. No, sorry. Yeah, Root.
Yeah.
I believe one is.
Yeah, Root Soviet. Yeah, Root.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. On the other hand, Gene, we saw him beat Osama Soviet. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I love Root's build. He's got it dialed in on this map. He knows exactly what he's doing. Gene, we haven't seen him successful in the long game just yet. Probably gonna have to prove it here.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many games left in this round, and now the unit counter. We haven't seen this one before. It's the only the yellow stuff is working. Okay. Well, anyway. So
I really have to send you the newer version.
I want some wild cards, Snark. I want some battle labs. I want some Kurovs. I want some dreadnoughts. I want some V3 rockets. And I think all the YouTubers agree with me. So I just hopefully if you made a map like this, Snark, that V3 rockets aren't viable, I don't really know what you're thinking, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the options for shenanigans definitely do exist. If you decide to tech up as Soviet, you can definitely do that. The desolators on some of these ramps are just gonna make it so hard for your opponent to push you, and then you sneak a dreadnought around the outskirts of the map, wreck your opponent's base, Kirov around the map. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if we had Latov or Paf here, we definitely that type of shenanigans. Not sure these players are confident enough to try any of those strategies. Gene, for not having forced to make a service depot, pulling a bit ahead here.
Yeah, and on a map like this too, where there's so much ore and gems like within grabbing space, like there's quite a bit of money early on. So if you can kind of defend some of these areas and then get over to tech, like it's not like you have to like massively spread yourself across the open field. But yeah, when it's all said and done, it's much easier to talk about. Why don't they, I guess, go tech and do these things? But once you got the rhinos on your doorstep, and you're any disadvantage in those rhino numbers can easily lose a game here. Root, look at that unit control. The sentry gun out from Gene though.
Yeah, beautiful out of Root there. Does force a service depot, which is interesting. And Root's going to be on the offensive here. Again, I'm not happy with these 5 miners from Gene on this patch here. I definitely feel like they should be more spread out. And yeah, Root's gonna chill here. Gene not able to do what he did with Osama and click the base raid button. Root's really threatening here in a very problematic position. Needs to be careful of those tanks that he's bringing in as reinforcements. He doesn't want them to get caught on the way, and I would like to see Root make a split now. You know, start attacking from two points at once.
Yeah, I mean, he's up right now, and he just has such a nice war machine on the backside. His miners very nicely distributed. 3 war factories, though, so got to be fairly even here on tanks. But yeah, as the aggressor, I think with Gene it's just so scary because you know Gene is looking for a chance to shoot down the gut and spam drones on the backside. And as I say that, Gene, please be careful here. Now Root bringing his dogs in. Both players throw the dogs in front.
Oh, the timing on that Root countered it perfect. Like he forced Gene back so well there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like you said, Gene was dying to go for a trade there.
Yeah, Gene's like he's always got the drones ready to spam on the backside. Gene lost a little bit of his fodder there, but still fairly even. Both these players giving each other a lot of respect. Now that MCV move here to that gem patch from Gene. No MCV move here yet from Root.
Yeah, Root doesn't feel the need to move his MCV just yet. Gene now going to get those gems. That's going to be a nice boost to his economy. Now that he really needs it. I mean, I would have preferred to see a 4th war factory like Root went. Root's going to start pulling ahead on tanks.
Yeah, and maybe that MCV move got up to those gems. Maybe just put him a little bit behind on his build order here. And Root going to get in first blood. Get the power plant. Careful.
Oh, the tank control and the sentry gun and the fodder. Gene with a phenomenal defense there.
Whoa.
Absolutely brilliant. He had the fodder. He had the sentry gun on time. Like I saw half of Root's tanks turrets turn around away from Gene's tanks and attack that fodder and that sentry gun. So really well done. Root's trying to split and take out the gems up here, but Gene now with a huge take advantage. Root switching into drones.
We're going to get over to drone, see if he can try to survive this counterpunch and bring himself into the next wave of this game. MCV on the move here. Root's got some drones. Not in position. Droning and MCV on the move, obviously always spicy. And now the tanks are coming. And yeah, that's one of those ones where you see that and you're like, how did he come out 20 tanks ahead? Was he 20 tanks up? And it's not. That was a fairly even battle to start with. But the little things, the use of the miner, the use of the fodder and the sentry guns, yeah, come through huge. And now Gene looking to drop the hammer and Root calls GG's. Wow. Yeah, those battles are so interesting to go back and look at and zoom in and just watch the turrets. Like you said, you know, when those dogs came in, that's a couple seconds where all those turrets turn. That one sentry gun. These tanks aren't very smart, and that's why it's called micro. Click for click, you got to babysit these things. Very nice from Gene. Good unit control.
Absolutely phenomenal. Was not expecting it to go down like that, but with a single fight, one battle there, where Root overextended himself just a little bit, and Gene had perfect micro. Root lost his entire army, and from then it was over. Again, I'm a big believer in the splits in this map, and not a big tank battle.
Yeah, it's funny the way that we're seeing this. Yeah, these big engagements where, and it's just such a tough game like that, man. Just like one little thing happens, and yeah, it goes wrong. Osama versus Kintaja. Tim, you can hop on the Twitch stream and you can see on the screen the order of the games. Osama versus Kintaja. Okay, so now Osama has 1 loss. Kintaja has 2 wins. The spiciness continues, Snark. Still very close.
Yeah, indeed. Currently, we have 2 players that have pulled ahead. One of them is Gene, the other is Kintaja, both of them with 2 points now on the board. The rest of the players only have 1 point on the board. But yeah, Kintaja versus Osama. Do you think Kintaja can pull ahead here and get himself, way ahead of everybody else with 3 points on the board, or will Osama win? And then, it starts evening out again, and we might reach that situation where everybody has exactly 2 points.
Osama's win versus Tim. Yeah, and we've seen, I think, Osama. Hard to say. It's really on a day like this, and then all the players kind of start blurring in your head, and all the games start blurring, and you're just like, hard to say. Hard to say. Osama, Kintaja. Wheel spin for Kloss. Kloss, you win nothing. The wheel's being very, very, very mean today. Next game up, we got Gene versus Tim, and then Osama versus Root. And Osama has loaded perfectly all day today. You know, if he wasn't loading, I'd be so mean to him. When he loads good, I'm not extra nice to him. I should really be congratulating him on his internet speed today.
Yeah, indeed. No Egyptian bug today. Smooth sailing. Gotta love it. Kintaja, I mean, we've seen him have a crazy Soviet, really, really powerful. Osama versus Gene, we saw him lose, but I feel like that was very situational. It was unlucky. Osama got caught out of position there in that game. Osama, a very convincing game versus Tim, though that was versus Allied.
Yeah, predictions are up. Let's go to you guys. Let's see. We got 200 Red Alert 2 enthusiasts in here. You guys get those predictions in YouTube or Twitch. You can type red or yellow in the chat. The bot will track your answer. If you get it right, one of you will get to randomly spin the cash wheel. And yeah, so this map, it's interesting. You see a map like this and you expect to see Allied versus Soviet and these splits and these things we're talking about. But we're kind of seeing the traditional Soviet Rhino ball smashing into each other. I wonder why that is. I mean, I guess the issue is that if you don't have your whole army, like the base trade or like the gut shot kind of thing that we've seen happen. But the splits, I don't know. It's interesting. We're not seeing those more.
Yeah, indeed. Drones out for both players here. They're going to try and drone a miner early on. Both players building their first war factory down the cliff, and there we go. Wow. So, I mean, Kintasha gets drones right away.
So let's go through them. So when the miner is going onto the refinery, it's vulnerable. When the miner's coming out of the war factory, it's vulnerable.
In Red Alert, yeah, they are most vulnerable then, but in Red Alert 2, you don't even need that because it takes 2 shots to kill a drone in Red Alert 2. And Yuri's Revenge, it takes only 1 shot.
So in Red Alert 2 with the 2 shots, it's like, no matter what they're doing, you can probably get it's usually get a drone in, unless there's,
So, well, I'd say Red Alert 2 is better because it's very simple. If the miner clicks the drone, right, then it gets 2 shots off before the drone goes in. Right, so if you click on the drone, it doesn't go in, but if you don't, usually it does.
Right. So if you click it, okay, all right. Well, yeah, that's actually kind of fair. I think that's fair. I don't know. I guess it's I don't know. This is one of those things when I first came back to Red Alert 2 a few years ago. These kind of things, I was just kind of like, this is silly. Like, I don't know. I wanted to like simplify some things, but it's also one of those things where there is skill involved. And right now, what else are we doing? Why not trade drones and have some drone shenanigans? If we weren't doing this right now, we would be doing nothing. And so the early drones, I've grown to love them as part of the game.
Yeah, and there you go. Kintasha gets his drone in on probably a very annoying miner to get it in. That is the miner that is furthest away from the service depot, has to travel up 3 levels all the way to the top to repair it and save it. So very, very nice drone there from Kintasha. Saved his drone for later on. So annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and I guess that's why it's not so, like why the drones are kind of a fun mechanic as well, because you're not really losing the miners. It's just like how inconvenienced are you going to be losing clicks and time and money. Junk Master making a good point. There is a lot of ore in all the lanes, so I guess tanks driving over ore are a bit slower. Maybe kind of slows down some of the backside tactics and things. Another drone in.
Oh my god, and it's a miner that's all the way down as far away from the service depot as possible. Kintasha just, wow.
That's annoying. Yeah, I mean, you got to maybe consider in hindsight putting the service depot on the middle level or something, but hard to know. And to see kind of even at this point that the drone's still coming in is pretty funny. I like it from Kintasha throwing everything. Hey, and with the way Osama, tough player. There's no you can't be holding anything back. If you got a trick, you got to use it.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Both even on tanks at the moment, and I love Osama's build. He stretched up to that ore patch, and he's long distance mining these gems. I think that's one of the best ways to do it.
Sorry, say that again. Osama. Oh, he's long distance. Instead of moving up. Yeah, so Osama, I feel like first we saw people building down and then moving over. So Osama with the build down and the build over and then long distancing those gems. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very nice. He's got a ref on every single one of his ore patches. Kintasha moving his MCV to the gem patch now to get his expansion out. This drone getting chased down by a few rhinos at the moment. Oh, it gets in.
And Kintasha, I don't know, 12 for 12 on drones. Now an MCV move here from Osama. Osama 5K in the bank.
Osama's eco is doing fine. His build is phenomenal. Kintaja is the one that's gonna start struggling eco. And now Osama splitting off some tanks, testing Kintaja. Kintaja's gonna send in these tanks at the top. Osama needs to notice because he is being micro down at the moment. Forced back into his base. Osama threatening Kintaja's MCV while another split is going on. But Osama's reinforcements coming up to the top split so fast, he's already caught up on tank numbers there.
Okay, so now we do see a little high-low game here. Both players fairly even here. I think Osama advantage on the top side, but Kintaja has the higher ground. Oh, and Kintaja gets strung
I was
out.
waiting for Osama to do that. He wanted Osama to come around the cliff, but yeah, terrible pathing. Can Kintaja get any miners here? He's tried to take the cliff, but he's fighting inside miners. And he does get one miner, but he loses so many tanks, Ivor. I'm not sure that was worth it.
Yeah, tough. And you've seen Kintaja now with some money in the bank, but for a few moments there was going broke, and you'll starting to feel that, even though fairly even now on 5 war factories to 4. Oh, 4. So Kintaja with a war factory advantage, but Kintaja, yeah, out-tanked, I think. Out-tanked top and bottom at the moment.
Yeah, Kintaja completely out-tanked, and he just ran out of gems in that patch. That was the only thing keeping him alive. And in the bottom, he does have a very nice fodder advantage there.
Oh, get those dogs back in front. Get the dogs to the front.
And now, Osama's going to merge these armies. Kintaja's going to merge his armies as well. And Osama caught out of position there, loses so many tanks.
Oh, and a few more tanks going to get lost. Kintaja, Kintaja not quite able to pounce there. Kintaja's sentry gun came a little bit late. Kintaja maybe not using the defender advantage fully. Has the money to be getting more sentry guns in those positions, but staying offensive instead. And now Kintaja, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but he's evened out the tank numbers. They're fairly even now. Osama's still 2 tanks ahead, but very, very even. Osama expanded all the way to the bottom left now, making another war factory. So 5 war factories versus 5 war factories. Kintaja getting the ore in this ore pit. And super, super long distance mining the gems at the top right.
Wait, your unit counter is working for you, Snark?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Sometimes you said the tank numbers. You're like 2 tank advantage. I'm like, how did he know that? I'm like, Snark's got the golden eye, man. Okay, higher ground for Kintaja on the top side. Kintaja out tanking on the bottom side. What are the tank numbers right now, Snark?
Yeah, so we got 40 tanks for Kintaja versus 42 for Osama. Kintaja going into the bottom side, and a great engagement for Kintaja there. He's sniping down these tanks, and now Osama caught out of position. Kintaja can go in here. Oh, this could be problematic for Osama. Kintaja going to play tag here, and these 2 splits so hard to keep track of. Kintaja in the top and the bottom trying to go in here. Osama with a lot of fodder coming out, though.
Kintaja gets higher ground on the bottom. Oh, Kintaja. I thought Kintaja was trying to get up that middle level.
Yeah, if he could block off this passage here, like it could be so effective to win back the numbers. Currently, they're dead even on rhinos. Yeah. 3rd split from Kintaja coming down the bottom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Osama, interesting. Is he going to merge these? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he is going to head here. Okay, so now we have to keep track of 3 splits at once, Ivor, as if we didn't have our hands full.
The triple split and Kintaja and both players going broke now. A lot of miners mining dirt, so this attack could easily determine the game here. Both looks like we're in the bottom side for the moment, so Kintaja brings his army down to the bottom side. Kintaja goes down the middle. It does a little loop and swoop on the top side into the belly of the beast on the middle. Osama reinforcing the bottom position. Oh, and going to pounce here, and Kintaja going to lose that bottom side fully in gold.
Kintaja could have retreated there. That is very bad. Now, he did get some miners. Osama's eco is going to become a problem now. But the problem is he's losing so many tanks on these engagements. I'm not sure this is the best for Kintaja. He might need to hit the panic button. And Osama's going to expand again as if he's not... fighting for his life while he's doing this.
Yeah, the casual MCV move here. And yeah, he knows it. I mean, I guess this... Oh, that's okay. The top side. Wow, and Osama counters everything. What are the tank numbers at, sir?
Yeah, it's 30 to 15. Osama has twice as many tanks as Kintaja right now. Kintaja might need to spam drones. Both of these players have expanded all over the map. It's pretty crazy what's going on right now. Can Kintaja survive the counterpunch from Osama? Osama's broke, so he's not getting reinforcements as fast as he'd like to. Kintaja has the money. He is getting more reinforcements. There's a radar out. He sells a few refinery. He's spamming drones. It looks like he's going to go for the base trade.
Yeah, so drones now, and he has a radar. Oh, the radar goes down. I thought maybe he'd get a Desolator in that fight. No desos for either player. Naked MCV on the bottom for Osama. Pretty efficient mining from both players here. You expect that at this point in the game. And Kintaja again downfield, but both players getting heavily droned. Kintaja trying to stop the bleeding, trying to counter those drones, but the drones are just materializing right now. Ooh, gonna go to... Oh, and Osama.
Oh, this is Kintaja's only eco source, really.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, Kintaja's army is just dwindling. He doesn't have enough rhinos to handle these drones for long. Kintaja sells MCV, still spamming the drones, but Osama with a huge tank army right now doesn't get that miner on his way out. Kintaja needs to spam these drones, and but he just lost his eco. He's selling buildings desperately to keep up the drone production to try to stay alive, and it's looking very, very rough. Osama still with 11 miners, Kintaja with only 3.
Yeah, as the army dwindles there, yeah, Kintaja just doesn't really have, not gonna have the offense to get himself back into this game now. But wow, both players, Kintaja got himself out of a couple of very tough positions there. But yeah, Osama kept the pressure on.
Pretty crazy game, and at the end of the day, Osama's gonna win on eco. He just had the better build. Look at Osama's spread.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's, I mean, those kind of battles, you know, it's one thing when, you know, you go right in and the battle ends, but those battles that go a long time, multiple waves, multiple comebacks, punches and counter punches, it's really tough to kind of keep up that back end, your macro, your miner management, your eco, big part of it. Both those guys juggled for a long time. Well played.
Ivor and I mean, these players are just heading straight for an awkward situation. Kintaja, 2 points. Osama, 2 points. Gene, 2 points. They're trying to put you in an impossible situation. We're gonna have a 5-way tie. We'll see. I mean, I suppose what has to happen now is Tim has to win this, and then that's gonna put him on 2 points as well. Gene already on 2 points. If Gene wins this, that's gonna put him ahead.
If Gene wins this.
Yeah, Gene's on 2 points at the moment. Tim is on 1 point.
If Tim wins this, we're in a weird spot.
Yeah, you're gonna definitely have a 4-way tie, unless Osama takes the last one versus Root, in which case he's gonna win. But yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. If Gene wins this, his only opponent that could possibly beat him will be Osama. If he wins Root, then you're gonna have a 2-way tie. If that doesn't happen, it's gonna be interesting.
Could have a spicy one. You know, we'll see what happens with tiebreakers. We'll try to handle it in a responsible fashion. But if we do a couple tiebreaker rounds and don't get through it, we may be over to a little land rush, 3-player free for all to settle it. Who knows?
Indeed. Tim switching it up. He was America until now. Now he's gonna go Korea. Korea do have the more powerful jets. 2 eagles to kill a rhino, 1 eagle to kill a flak track. It can be so annoying when Korea snipes your anti-air. Obviously requires really good micro and skill.
Yeah, Korea out. The Eagles, you know, for a while we were doing flex factions where Allied had a few different toys. And I think that's kind of fun where you give it's just Soviet versus Allied, and Allied gets all their different faction bonuses. I think it's kind of fun because it's fun when Allied has the Eagles and the pair drops because you see more Allied. It makes Allied a little bit more viable for some of these guys because the Eagles are good, but they're not as good as the pair drop generally. So you just don't see Korea, whereas it's fun watching people manage Eagles. A good player, it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if Tim's able to pull it off. So far, I mean, it's been tough. And Gene, a very, very good player. Gonna be very, very tough as Korea here. Obviously, the routing is gonna be fun. If you're trying to counter Eagles, you're gonna be like running up the cliffs, down the cliffs, up the cliffs, down the cliffs, depending on the player's micro. Usually in standard games, we don't see people go more than 1 air pad to be able to make enough Eagles to snipe a war factory or a ref or the important stuff.
Yeah, generally you're going to see those Eagles trying to control the Rhino numbers, and the AFC already out and a Rocketeer out. Early MCV move here from Tim. We haven't really seen this as the series, as this map's kind of developed. We've seen players stretching more often than moving the MCV, but we'll see. Tim the Terror, maybe he's got a plan. Second wheel spin here for Abdo. Abdo rolling for $10. Abdo rolling for $15. Abdo, the Shadow, the man himself. Eagles are in. Abdo, you win nothing. Predictions. Oh, I forgot to put the predictions. Predictions are up. You guys, I gave you guys a little taste test this time. Predictions are up. Type red or yellow. Flat cannon out for Gene. I think especially. Oh, he sells the flat cannon. That's kind of interesting. I thought he was going to keep long-term investment against these Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, he put it there to counter the Rocketeer. He didn't want to spend time making a flak track. The Rocketeer moved out of the way. It's now hiding over the water on the right-hand side. And 3 Eagles on the field. Enough to snipe a barracks, potentially. Or go for rhinos. We'll see.
Yeah, the barrack snipe can be annoying. If he's building a war factory, it'll cancel it out. Did he land those?
Yeah, well, 2 Eagles landed, so he has 2 rhinos on half health at the moment.
Okay. Eagles chipping, and another MCV move here. Tim, people say, oh, here's the new meta. Tim says, forget the meta. Forget everything you know. Korea and multi-MCV moves. That's the meta.
That's interesting. I would have moved to the center as a midpoint before going all the way to the next gem patch. But who am I to argue with Tim?
Yeah, and this MCV, like, not quite going to the gems was curious to me. Like, why not go a little bit closer? Okay, Eagles. Ooh, was that
oh my
0 for 4?
God. Yeah, I mean, Gene just so good at dodging these Eagle hits. And Tim really needs those Eagle hits. He's only on 1 war factory. He's facing a Soviet player with 2 war factories. Very soon, the tank numbers difference is going to become substantial. Double Eagle pad, yes!
The double Eagle pad. Wow. Okay, and enough tanks to defend. So Tim's dogs and Grizzly just need to hold the defensive efforts. He can get his offensive value from the skies here. Goes right into that flak cannon. Ooh, all the Eagles make it home for dinner. Yeah, it's so tricky because it's so tempting to be like, go for the war factory, go for this, go for that. But your eyes can't get bigger than your stomach here. You do need to try to control these rhino numbers and be very, very careful about when you go. And now over to Battle Lab Tech for Tim.
Yeah, so a complete different approach here for Tim, where we previously saw him go crazy aggro with these Grizzlies. He's going to go for tech instead. He makes a spy, which is going to try and go in. And there's an IFV on the field. Problem is the tank numbers right now.
And Tim, 5K, no prism towers, no pillboxes. Got to get him rolling, right? I mean, the problem is he has such a big base. If you start spamming those things, oh, and the spy does get spy goes down.
Yeah, and the MCV move saves it from the Eagles.
Oh, wow.
Really nice out of Gene there.
He went for the Eagle hit on the MCV. Okay, Mirage tanks are in the fight. He's got the higher ground here. This is tedious, though. Throws the dogs in. Can Tim hold this nice pillbox? But Gene gonna...
Going for the MCV. He's going to go for the MCV. He's going to get it. Tim sells the MCV. He has the fodder advantage.
Gene has to be careful here. Gene up on this hill could be tough. Going into the miners, he gets 1 miner there. Grizzlies and Mirage is still defending. Tim...
Oh, if he loses the Battle Lab, that's going to be devastating. He really wants to keep this Mirage production up, but no. And he is going to clean up Gene's army. That's going to be painful. He's going to go for the AFC. Tim really needs to take these Eagles on the MFC.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he saves the AFC.
Wow. That is crazy. But Gene taking Tim on a ride. He is going all over the place. Now 2 more rhinos coming in. Going to split up his army. Nice defense there. Does lose a miner. Tim, no MCV, no expansion. Potentially in big trouble here. Eagles coming in again. Maybe another attempt on the MCV. Goes for an important refinery. I mean, that ore patch was kind of depleted, so I'm not 100% about that. Elite Mirage comes out.
Elite Mirage. Ooh. That's fun. Okay, so he held the AFCs. He's got the barracks. He's got the war factory. He's got an economy rolling.
Economy's not going to last for long.
Yeah, refinery's a bit out of position. How many miners? Yeah, okay. Eagles. I would have.
Desselbaum geared up.
Goes
for a ref and Deso. Interesting.
Going at the refineries. Desolator's out now.
Oh, get these miners. If he gets these miners,
this could be juicy. Oh, the Rockies take out the Desolator. The Rockies take out the Desolator.
That's
oh no!
Oh no! Wow. Sometimes the other player gets so lucky with a little latency on the deploy there.
Yeah, and now the miners going. He's using the miners as fodder here, and Tim says. Gene says, "Take my miners. I'll take your army." And no.
Wow, yeah, no counter to the Rocketeers at the moment. The Spore Factory is going to go down. Now, Gene did win that fight. There are a few Mirages back at home.
This is
not
juicy.
many, though. Only 3.
Oh, no, don't go into that flak. Oh, Eagle's coming. Eagles coming, takes out another refinery. Gene's dead broke. The Eagles sniping the refinery was a curious move. It worked though. You know, it would have been so tempting to go from the war factories. Obviously, the MCV move, as you guys saw at the top level, the MCV can be moved, so you can't really snipe the MCV unless the other player is kind of AFK. So going for the refineries, trying to control Gene's eco, and Tim at this point trying to keep Gene on his side of the field because Tim, tough base to defend, no MCV, no pillbox support. Tough. This is a tough position for Tim.
Yeah, he does have the mirages, which in these types of situations very useful. Now, forcing Gene to go for so many flag tracks versus these Eagles has got to be fun. And these Rocketeers, but a flat cannon in position loses all of. Tim can't afford to lose Rocketeers like that right now.
No, he cannot be. He cannot be. He needs to just be the Rockies. Oh!
Oh my God!
He misses the
Eagles suck, man. Eagles suck so bad.
And it's kind of funny. Have you guys wondering about the missing? So Eagles will miss randomly. Like if someone's going up a hill, there's random things that'll make them miss. But also a player can make them miss by like moving away from the Eagles, and you hit the S key. Is that right, Snark? You hit the S key when you're doing it.
Yeah, there's a few ways to make Eagles miss. These mirages need to stay still.
Oh,
yeah, he's gonna wreck this army.
Yeah.
He's gonna destroy this army. He's gonna click down these mirages. Tim should not have left home. He's gonna go for the MCV one more time, and he moves it. Oh, but he baits it.
Nice, a little stutter step from the Eagles. Not gonna be enough. Gene gonna come drop the hammer here. A fun play from Tim, but yeah, I think you know, a lot of players don't like when I tinker too much with the game, but I like the flex factions here. You know, if Tim had Eagles with the paradrop, yeah, been a little spicier. Depends on the map though. It's all about the map, obviously. This is a tough map for Allied, but Tim shaking and baking, making that as interesting as possible. That's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Tim, one of the most entertaining players to watch. Gotta love it. I love Blazer. What do you mean Eagles miss randomly? Their default state is missing.
Wait, what? Their default, they mostly, yeah, what I should have said is sometimes they actually hit. Yeah, the Eagles. It's funny, we experimented at the Armageddon tournament a few years ago. I think the Eagles, they improved their hit rate, and people rioted. I mean, it's tough.
Crazy,
It's really tough to tinker with a 20-year-old game. People don't like change very much. So where's that put us, Snark? We got Osama versus Root coming in here.
Well, it's very simple. Gene has 3 points. The only player with 3 points at the moment is Gene. Now, the only way anyone has any chance versus Gene is if Osama gets another point here. If Osama gets another point, it puts him on 3 points as well. Root has no chance. He's only on 1 point, so it's not going to matter. Root is the gatekeeper for Osama to face Gene. If Root wins this, Gene automatically wins the Fight Club. If Osama wins this, he gets 3 points as well, and then he faces off versus Gene in the finals.
Right. Okay. Wow.
All right. So Root versus Osama, like we said, Root. Root can win this. You know, it's in Root's hands. Root has to decide who he likes more. He could let Osama win and then have Osama face Gene. Or no, I'm joking. Root always plays to win. Doesn't matter the Fight Club. He wants to win for the glory.
Yeah, and so sometimes in these situations we've had kind of some silliness before where it's like it doesn't matter for him and it matters for him. These kind of things happen in all tournaments where there's the situations where losing doesn't, these kind of things. So we're gonna spice this one up a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bounty on this game. I'm gonna say, Root, if you win, I'll give you $10. So we're gonna give Root a little incentive here. So remove the silliness and keep the competitive nature going here. Let me reset this.
I love that. Okay, so Root's incentive to win is $10 on the line. Osama's incentive to win is to make it to 3 points so that he could face off versus Gene in the finals.
Yeah, he's going for 50. He's going for $50. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, Osama, you don't get.
Yeah, Osama's like, why not me? I'm like, Osama, you're still in it for 50, man. Okay, let's get it going. Oof.
Epic stuff going on here. Wow, Gene coming out. I mean, we spoke about Gene looking so good at the start, but then he was looking a little shaky, but he came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, that was really well played, man. It's so funny because like people always are like, oh, you're playing favorites in the booth. I'm like, yeah, I'm always playing favorites for whoever's losing and the allied player. Like I'm always rooting for. If you go Korea and go double AFC, yeah, I'm rooting for you. I'll make that perfectly clear. That was a fun one, but really tough on a map like this against a player like Gene, who's playing.
Yeah, so good at dodging.
Yeah,
That's what it came down to. The reason so tough for Tim there was because Gene was just so good at dodging those equals. But again, a big shout out to Tim. Always entertaining. I love watching Tim. Tim is one of the funnest players to watch.
Yeah, GG's, Tim, and all the players in here. Good, spicy day. Wheel spin for X. He had that last prediction right, and he gets $5, just like that. Winner, chicken dinner. Message me on Discord. Claim your $5. You can do whatever you want with it. People are like, "What can I do with the $5?" I'm like, buy a sandwich, buy a beer, party, do whatever you want, man. Invest it in your mortgage. You can do whatever you want with your $5.
Are you saying it's actually real dollars? It's not
It's
stream dollars?
They're not Blitz bucks. They're not Twitch tokens. Prediction is up. Type red or yellow in the chat. Again, guys, the stakes are very, very clear here. If Osama wins this, he goes on to play Gene. If Root wins this, well, we put up a little bounty for Root. If Root wins, he gets $10, which is so funny because Osama, if it wasn't for that, Osama would be like, Root, like, why win? Just let me win so I can go on. Root's got an incentive, Osama's got an incentive, and Gene is standing on the sidelines, chain smoking cigarettes and sharpening his axe. Let's go, boys. What do we got?
Yeah. So Gene could potentially have already won the $50 if Root takes this, right? So Gene is definitely rooting for Root. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, Gene. I know. I for a while we used to do like the two players with the most wins. It's not a perfect system, Fight Club, but that's why it's called Fight Club. It's not called like the World Cup.
That's the thing I love most about it. It's like sometimes, well, there's a three-way tie. Sometimes there's a winner who just blew everyone out of the water. Sometimes it's a two-way tie. So that's what I love about Fight Club. It's completely unpredictable. No one knows what's going to happen. No one knows when Ivor's going to throw in more money for a specific player for a specific match.
Giving bounties to players. Yeah. And for those of you guys looking for a more structured, traditional event, the World Cup, Red Alert 2 World Cup is coming up. We've done it the last 2 years. Had some really, really spicy games. World Cup this December. Going to have some fun stuff going on. We're going to have a tournament for all 3 game modes, Red Alert 2, Blitz, and Yuri's Revenge. All skill levels are welcome, even if you haven't played this game in 20 years and the YouTube algorithm just got you here for some unknown reason. We have divisions for all skill levels. We have a Division 5 group of people who haven't played in years, getting back into the game. So come join the fun. RedAlert2.com's got all that info. Check it out. I recommend it. And again, we'll be having the World Cup finals for Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, and Blitz. No key in this year, but I think Osama will be in all 3 game modes making noise. Hopefully Legend's back. He's on kind of a hiatus right now. Quas, Marco, all those guys. Anyway,
dude,
let's get it going.
Yeah, Quas is one to watch, but yeah, for sure. Looking forward to that. Root was successfully droned one of Gene's miners. He saved it. He put down a refinery. Currently chasing down Osama's. I said Gene, sorry. Osama's drone here in the bottom smoking. He's going to want to come back and repair it. Osama forced to make 2 service depots on the map. That's got to be annoying.
2 service depots is annoying. That is certainly the word for it.
Oh my god! Root just went in with a single rhino to that damaged miner and got it.
Oh, I forget about that little 1-2 punch. See, you guys, when you drone a miner, a pro player puts it on 1 hook drop, and then he brings it back. He only takes 1 hook drop from the service depot to evict it. So then it goes back with half health. So if you're a savvy player like Root, you can 1-2 punch. That's what it was, a tank that was wounded from a drone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
absolutely phenomenal. Gotta love that. Now Osama has the higher incentive to, well, potentially, I don't know. I mean, Root wins $10 if he wins this. Osama wants to move on to face Gene in the finals. Very interesting situation here, and Root is like, yeah, Osama, I'm getting that $10.
Root wants the $10, man. And I think also, these guys, it's kind of funny also just to like, I mean, players want to win. That's what we love about these top level guys. And Osama, the crowd favorite here, 75% of you guys believing in Osama. After I saw Root's Soviet take down Kintaja Soviet that game, I am a Root Soviet believer. And I don't think there's anything the Reaper can't do. But Osama playing good today. So both pretty much. Oh, and so we see that that move up to the gems from Root. Root's dialing in on this map for sure.
Yeah, Osama's so smart when it comes to knowing which engagements to take and which ones to not take. He's just really good at keeping back until he has advantage. Now, Root currently with a big advantage, right? He's 6 tanks ahead at the moment, and he's a miner ahead. So Osama's actually the one at a disadvantage right now. The question is, how does Osama pull ahead? And I think there's one simple answer, Ivor.
What's that?
Splits.
Snark, you just saying that everyone should be splitting doesn't mean anyone's gonna split, Snark. This is clearly not a split map.
Well, watch Osama in the bottom come in here with 4 tanks, as you say that,
Okay.
proving you wrong.
Yeah, and Root now 4 tanks up, 2 miners up. Osama with a War Factory advantage, probably from Root's little MCV move.
Yeah, not for long. I mean, okay. So this is what Osama wants to do. Exactly this, right? He's like, okay, I know you out tank me. I know you out miner me. You know what you can't do is out base trade me. Both of them hitting the drone button as we speak. And this is going to be interesting. Osama sending half of his army back. What is his target to defend here with this half army? In the meantime, an engagement going on in root space. Osama fighting the fight there. Both players could potentially lose their armies here. Very interesting situation. Osama winning the fight on the left-hand side. A lot of his tanks are drones. Root running through Osama's base at the moment, trying to get value here.
Yeah, and this map, we've seen these kind of tours where you drive around the enemy base through all the levels, make them chase you, and get so much value. Now look at these miners, but the miners alone are gonna be able to clean up that many rhinos.
Dude, there's so many miners there, and the drones coming in being so annoying. And Osama really needs to get value, right? He has no MCV and he has 2 war factories left. Root has 6 war factories left.
Ooh.
It's gonna come down to an eco issue, which is why he's targeting the miners right now. Coming in with an army here, but so many drones to counter. Obviously, the ore making it difficult for the drones to chase. So you got to be a little bit more tactful with the way you use them. We're going to watch Root's economy because that's going to be the only way he loses this is if he goes broke, because when it comes to War Factory numbers, he's got 6. Osama's got only 2.
Osama 10k in the bank, Root dead broke. The only thing Osama has going for him right now, he's got to get into Root space, make something happen. And Root starts amputating, selling off a few buildings. He knows he just has to hold here. Wait, Root doesn't have
a scary army from Osama.
Root doesn't have an MCV either, right?
Yeah, Root doesn't have an MCV either. And Osama doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's targeting the economy, right? Root down to 2 miners. Root down to 1 miner. Root down to 0 miners. Holy moly. But Osama is going to lose this fight. Osama is going to lose this fight. He needs to be careful here. He needs to replenish his army ASAP. Root needs to spam miners out of the war factory. He's broke. He's completely broke. Root can't build anything anymore.
Root is completely broke. Osama on 10k. 2 war factories, so the rhino's chugging along. Oh my gosh. So Root now building miners. But
yeah, and that's what he should do. That's exactly what he needs to be doing here. Is that the only way to get himself back into this game. The question is, can he get value with this attack? Because he does need to get value. Osama sending a few downfield. Interesting. Root's going to send his drones to defend. Osama wants to snipe his only miner, right? He knows Root is broke. He knows this is his win condition. Oh, and we're just losing so many rhinos right now. Oh my god, he's gonna get this miner.
Did he get the miner? He got the miner.
And all of Root's tanks are droned. Root is broke. Root is in a potentially advantageous position, but he's just so broke. Wow.
That was wacky, Snark. That was wacky.
That was absolutely insane. Osama's such a smart player, Ivor. He recognized his opponent's weakness. His opponent had more war factories, had more miners. What do you do? Okay, shenanigans, base trade situation. All right, great. Now, what is my target on the base trade? Roots went for war factories. Osama's like, no. You can have 6 war factories, but you're not gonna have any money to spend. Beautiful micro, gets all of the miners. And somehow Osama comes back from a lesser position, just being the most, just using clever strategy right there. Brilliant, phenomenal game.
I mean, and Snark, okay, so the base trade situation, there's a simple idea. Should you base trade? If you're behind, sure. Take it. So Root was up across the board. When Osama took that base trade early on, do you think Root should have just not accepted the base trade? Maybe just defended? Obviously he doesn't know he was ahead, but in hindsight, I guess, that's how Osama created the chaos and was able to win. I don't know.
Absolutely crazy. So Roots can kiss those $10 goodbye. And we have our finals, ladies and gentlemen. Gene, 3 wins. Osama on 3 wins as well. Following close behind in third place is going to be Kintaja with 2 wins. And they're now fighting for first and second place. Osama versus Gene. The finals of this Fight Club. Absolutely epic. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, and here we go. When it comes down to this, it'll be BO1. It'll be BO1 here, and now these guys already faced each other once. Gene did win, but Osama's a new man, born from the fire, battle forged. That was many games ago. That was many moons. That's a lifetime ago. They were different players back then. All comes down to this best of 1 here in the finals. Best of 1. EXO with the wheel spin. Let's get it going. You win nothing. Okay.
Here we go, boys. It all comes down to this $50 on the line. The finals of tonight's Fight Club. Osama the Dragon versus Gene
The Spider King. I know I'm
the Spider
you guys,
King.
people have a hard time. Oh, we're gonna get Osama's first load bug for the finals. That's fun.
Oh,
I
there
know
we
that
go.
the nicknames are hard to keep up with because I change them constantly. I think Gene for a while was Warhammer. That's the whole reason I'm here, is to make up nicknames, Snark. People think I like this game. I'm just here for the nicknames. All right, we're not loading. That's okay. Get the hype going. You guys can type red or yellow in the chat, YouTube or Twitch. Type red or yellow in the chat. Let me know who you think's gonna win this one. That's so funny. Osama loads all day long. All right, we were getting spoiled anyway. Red or yellow in the chat. All right, here we go. We're going to get it again. Okay, I'm hopeful. Tim's saying Osama. What do you think, Snark? Where are you putting your money?
Ooh, I mean, Gene won that first one, but I feel like he won it because he caught Osama out of position.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
Right. I forgot. That was that really fast game, right?
Yeah, the super fast game. The way Osama just played Root from a terrible position, turning it into a win. I'm gonna have to go with Osama after that display.
Yeah, I think Osama's got the momentum right now. Prediction closed. 66% of you guys on Osama. Okay. You guys are so short-sighted. Osama just wins, now you all vote for Osama. Come on, be more creative. Be more creative. So here we are. Again, best of 1. The best of 1's so funny. You know, again, a lot of these traditional kind of events like this, the finals would be like best of 11, best of 17. But Fight Club, you know, it's a little Wednesday, casual Wednesday stream. That's what it's all about. Quick reminder, guys, again, redalert2.com. Tell your friends, tell your family. You can go on there, you can download the game, learn about the game, join the Discord, connect with other players, help troubleshoot if you're having issues getting set up. If you want to learn about the game, and you can sign up for the tournaments. Every month, we have a tournament for players of all skill level, new and returning players, special division for you guys. You can all hang out and have some fun together. I recommend it. I also made a Red Alert 2 comic book. Lagging?
That's unfortunate.
Snark, I'm losing you, buddy.
Oh. Interesting. It's saying, yeah, it's pointing at you for me, but it looks like I'm the one disconnecting. You can hear me still?
They both immediately proposed kicking you from the game, just for the record.
So insulting.
Oh,
So insulting.
Oh, it also lost a connection to Gene.
Oh yeah, that was you're out.
It's me?
Yeah, it was you.
It's weird.
All right. Let's
okay. I like it for the all day long. Fully fresh, and then just for the finals.
Well, that's the way to keep the suspense rolling, right?
I think so. Okay, let's all cross our fingers again. Okay.
Oh no. Okay. I'm
Wait, you went from no load to full load. Okay. How's it looking? You never know until the dogs come. There's no lag flags. If there was a lag flag, like an American flagpole, we could see then. Tesla reactor looks happy to me. Okay, wait for the dogs.
Come on, guys. We could do it for the finals. We could get the game rolling.
Those are happy dogs. Look at that. All right, here we go. Again, best of 1 winner taking home $50. Both these guys on 3 wins. Gene taking home beating Osama in their first match, prelim game, but a very close one. Now, Elo speaking, Gene was the highest rated player in this group, and I think he's top 5 in CNCnet in regular Red Alert 2, been around for a long time. Osama, definitely lower Elo rating, but he's the player that's changing the most in the last year. kind of rising up the ranks and now, you know, fully in S-Class top tier, but does have a lower elo than Gene. But Osama's dialed in on this map, and I like that Osama, even though one of the youngest players in the game, most people who play this game are in their 30s-ish. Most people who watch this game also the same. Osama, a young player under 20. Definitely, you know, him and Kian, I guess, were the two younger players in the top level for a long time. But Osama, I like it. And for a younger player in here, less total time spent playing the game, I like these calm, cool, and collect that we've seen today. And the drone shenanigans begin.
Indeed, indeed. Starting off here with the drones, we saw how annoying they could be, and it gives you a little edge at the start. Gene should be getting these gems.
Okay. And does get drone. That's kind of annoying. It was the miner. Oh, it's okay right there. But the miner was on the gems. Yeah, a little bit slow to get his gems cleaned up. You see Osama already cleaned up the gems. And again, in a game like this, yeah, those little things are the things that matter. Little things like that are the reason why you have another tank or two later on. Brings out a sentry gun to defend, then sells the sentry gun, but does counter that drone nonetheless.
Yes, indeed.
Not getting these
both
gems
players
from
with
Gene.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. We're going to watch his eco dwindle here while Osama is managing to balance it perfectly. Gene going broke just for a few seconds there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and any of and as these guys just bolster up here, quick reminder: if any of you guys are looking for other Red Alert 2 content, redalert2.com, you can go check out other streamer channels. Doof has been running some really big tournaments. He's got some really big games coming up. He had a tournament running the last couple months. He's getting into the finals, so some really spicy Yuri's Revenge games happening on his channel, redalert2.com/doof. You can find his games there, redalert2.com/doof. He also has a YouTube channel. Check it out. Okay, the calm before the storm, Snark. Wait, who did you pick? You picked Osama?
I picked after that display with Root. I had no choice but to pick Osama, and I'm already liking his build a little bit better here. He's already down to the 3rd level. He's already mined all that gem patch in the center. His economy is doing phenomenal. He's a 3 war factories versus 2. Osama's dialed in on his build right now.
I had a minor advantage for a minute there. It was up a tank, and now the 4th, and just goes 3rd and 4th war factory back to back for Osama. It looks like he has the money for it. Yeah, Gene only on 2. Gene's gonna need to get a 3rd war factory up ASAP, or he's gonna start falling behind here pretty closely. If you guys wondering about the multiple war factories, I know a lot of people ask about that. Obviously, more war factories, your tanks build faster. I made a video just recently, finished it up, where it compares 1 war factory to 10. Compares all of them. So keep an eye out for that video. That'll give you guys a really good idea in real time of what it's like, what the war factory advantages do. They're significant and they matter. Have more war factories than your enemy. That's what I recommend. Okay, Osama on the doorstep. About even on tanks. Oh, Osama's kind of just ahead. Kind of just ahead across the board. Okay, 3 tanks topside. Wait, Snark. I lost you, Snark? Not for the finals. Is this the same thing where you can hear me, but I can't hear you? I can't hear you, Snark.
What about now?
Oh, okay. All right. Now I know that you're doing something. It's not random.
No, I left the chat and went back in and I fixed it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well.
All right. Oh, look at the split from along the top from Osama. Gene forced to counter this. Now, finally, someone listening to the map maker and using the splits, but Gene doing a great job countering them at the moment. That's got to be annoying there. Again, Osama's still ahead. He's got more tanks and he's got more war factories. Can he get something done? Got a little bit out of position there, losing a few tanks on the top side. That's not good. But Gene's still holding on. Now Osama grabbing the cliff here, potentially. Yeah, forced out. Gene really on his toes right now. But Osama coming in, gonna get a miner.
Ooh,
no, he doesn't get it.
That miner down to a half a tick. And so what Gene is lacking in tanks for the moment, he makes up for in fodder. He's out dogging 2 to 1, and that can make a big difference in these engagements, especially these kind of multi-split engagements where one of your armies is going to have to be kind of acting on their own accord. The fodder can become even more valuable. And now 3 ways from Osama down the middle as well. Osama bottom, middle, and top.
Wow, Osama the crazy splits, and this top split's not really countered. It looks like it's going to get a miner here for sure at the very least. Gets 1 miner, goes out, and now coming back in the center, Gene hitting the panic button. He's going to head towards Osama's base. Oh, it's going to be chaos, boys. Osama. All right. So Gene has all of his tanks in one group. Doesn't go to Osama's base in the end. Osama has these tanks roaming free.
Gene,
And he's gonna go. Oh my God, Gene is confused. He's
Gene,
not sure
Gene
what he
can't
wants
make
to
up
do.
his mind. Oh,
Setting
now his
them
tank's
in a
all strung
line.
out. Oh, now doesn't want to go
God.
up this. Surely not going up. Surely
No,
doesn't.
no.
What? And the dogs?
Surely, yeah, surely.
Surely not.
Right?
Surely not.
Right? Absolutely not.
Dogs out of position.
Oh.
So out tanked going uphill with dogs out of position, and now the miners heading downfield with the MCV. Osama calls GG's.
Wow. Not even close. Wow. Osama was ahead that entire game. And yeah, Gene is going to send in his MCV as fodder, give Osama a few elites.
Player defeated.
Wow. Wow.
I wonder what happened. I wonder what that engagement. I wonder what happened to Gene there. I mean, you know, if a player that's so comfortable in base trade situations as well, you know, I don't know, but attacking uphill with his you don't expect to see that from Gene.
Absolutely
But
crazy.
yeah,
Wow.
but like you said, I mean, but to be fair, it's not like, I mean, that was a tough position with, you know, a bad choice, but at the same time, Osama was up that entire game. Really, really well played by Osama. He was up on miners, up on war factories. I mean, Gene had a dog advantage for a bit, but yeah, Osama, wow.
Beautiful. Wow. What a great Fight Club night. Absolutely phenomenal games. We had Tim in here, you know, showing off his allied skills, his Korea skills, giving us great entertainment. We had Root looking so powerful, so great. Absolutely fun.
The
Kintaja.
Kintaja debut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spicy one,
And
spicy one. GG's players. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Good games all around. Wow, yeah, but Osama dialed in, and that map, yeah, it was fun to kind of watch that one develop. Spicy maps and arc, I like it. It was an SFJ map originally, right? Is that a Yuri's Revenge map also?
this was designed actually for Red Alert 2. We used it for SFJ, but it was designed for RA2.
Yeah, it's a spicy one. Wow, Snark. Okay, hey, another Fight Club in the books, man. I'm gonna hop out. I'm gonna hop out of here, get going. But thanks for hanging out, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me. See you around.
Alrighty, guys. So let's see who got that final prediction right. X. Wait, what? This thing doesn't seem very random, does it? I mean, I guess X has predicted everything right. You win nothing. That does seem odd, doesn't it? I feel like I need to get my programmer to ask me. Let's see what Yuri thinks. Why is Osama so good? Because he's like Yuri Prime, mind controlling the situation to his advantage, but without the genetic mutations. My Yuri bot has been programmed to be like funny, but also like very like PC, but then also kind of like quirky and random. And I think he kind of nails it. Osama, the dragon, taking it home. Rigged. Yeah, X, you got a lot of predictions right. You have to say, hey Yuri. You have to say, hey Yuri, and then you have to ask the question. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I have to go because I have sold my car to someone who is having me ship it to Hawaii. And in order to ship the vehicle, it has to have less than a quarter tank of gas. And this morning I realized the car has a half a tank of gas. And so I have to now go drive my car in circles for 90 minutes to burn a quarter tank of gas before putting it on this ship. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. What do you guys think? How do you get a half a tank of gas out of a car? I guess you just throw a hose in it, suck on the end, you know, and then just like put it in the drain. It's probably environmentally friendly, right? Just throw it in the wastewater. Siphon it, yeah, but siphon it. Oh, I guess I could put it into another car. I could siphon it into another car, right? But in order to siphon from one car to another, I have to put it in a gas. Wait, can you siphon from one car to another? Or you have to go into a gas tank and then put the gas tank into the car. Can a hose go from one car to another car, or you have to go into a gas tank and then to another car? So I guess I could go get a hose and get a gas tank. Or wait, can you go right from a hose from one car? Okay. Anyway, We'll get her figured out. Don't worry about me, boys. Into your rhino tank. Ah, clever, clever, clever. Kloss, you drive an electric. You don't know. Thanks to GG's to the players, guys. Thanks for hanging out. As always, thanks for being part of the fun. We're gonna keep the action rolling around here. We're gonna do a fight club most weeks here. Coming into the holidays, maybe a little bit less, but again, stick around in December for Fight Club. Can you siphon from one car to another? Why siphon gas when you can mind control and drive it like a Yuri's mastermind? That's a great point, Yuri. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Is there anyone for us to raid? Who else is on? Fortune Chaos is doing something? No, Fortune Chaos isn't doing anything. Any other streamers on here? I don't think there are. We'll go raid this random person. Klaus, I think you're the only person who even knows you can feed my wolf. You're the only person who ever feeds my wolf. We're going to raid this random person. Go spread the hype over there. Some random person playing Red Alert 2 with a few viewers. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See you next time.